Hi, I'm Zachtos, and I'll take you on a tour of my sump room. So let's take it behind the scenes. So here's everything. First off, let's go shut the skimmer off so everybody can hear. The skimmer. There we go. So, first thing is, tank drains down through this pipe, follow this pipe, comes all the way down, and it goes into a nylon filter stock. Here's a close-up of a nylon filter stock. I highly recommend them. It's 100 micron. It's very easy to wash. Helps keep your nutrients down, capturing all the big stuff. So it drains into this big tank right here. And inside of here there is a phosphate reactor filled with carbon. Change that monthly. The skimmer is here, and it comes out of that container. It's got 2 Gen X pumps with mesh mod. Drains into a 5-gallon bucket down here. We have a calcium reactor, a dual chamber. I use the coarse media in the main chamber. And the controller for it's down here. Add in a little bit of CO2 right now. There's a CO2 tank. I think it's a 10-pound. Go over some more equipment. There's also a refugium. And I light my refugium. It's a 50-gallon. I light it with a 75-watt high-pressure sodium bulb. It does a very good job on growing chaetomorpha, much better than any other color bulb I've used. There's an ozone reactor that I don't use anymore. Here's a sulfur denitrator. Just a tube filled with sulfur media, pumped to recirculate it, drips into the tank. Does a very good job. Probably takes my tank from 20 parts per million down to about 5. The rest of it is done by vodka sugar vinegar dosing, which I do here. Nothing fancy, you've all heard about that probably. I'm going to start dosing bacteria with it as well. So everything after that dumps down into a large 150-gallon Rubbermaid sump, and it's just filled with live rock. I keep everything covered with plastic to help reduce evaporation, which does an excellent job. Everything returns back upstairs through a Sequence 4600 pump, I believe it is. I think it puts out somewhere around 2,000 gallons per hour. This pump pumps upstairs. It should return at about 1,000 gallons per hour based on calc. It also tees off right here before it goes upstairs, and it goes to a manifold. It's a very energy efficient way of saving a lot of power heads. So it goes to this manifold which feeds the calcium reactor, skimmer, carbon reactor, ozone reactor, and sulfur denitrator. So it feeds like 5 different things using that one pump. So that's a lot of power heads you don't have to have, a lot of energy you don't have to waste, a lot of maintenance you don't need to do. We also have a remote deep sand bed, just a big tub full of sand and water. It doesn't do a very good job. I'm not really impressed with it compared to the sulfur denitrator. We have the ozone equipment over here, which is broke and out of commission. A pH monitor. And I have a Renko heater controller I built, like $70, and it controls a pump which is attached to my water heater. It's one of the unique designs on saving energy. I don't have any electric heat in my system. I have a T that comes off the bottom of my water heater, goes up to a pump, which is controlled by the Renko, and it returns back up at the top, goes along the ceiling, comes back down, feeds into the tank using a closed loop coil, so no water actually comes in contact with my tank. This is actually how my tank crashed originally, as I used the wrong fitting right here. I used a glue type fitting instead of a compression fitting, and this is PEX. It's a very different type of PVC, you can't glue to it. Big mistake. But anyway, the water dumped in here and killed my tank. But that was about 8 months ago, and everything is fantastic now. I can heat about 100 gallons of water by about 10 degrees in about 5 minutes. I'd like to see you do that with electric for about 1/4 to 1/2 of the cost, roughly. So, for doing water changes, I keep everything in these big 30-gallon drums, so I can do 30 gallons at a time, just by changing the valves down the bottom, which drain into the tank, mix up however many gallons of water I want to do. I can do up to 90 gallons. And to automatically change water, we just twist this valve here for water change. It connects right into the main plumbing of my house. It just dumps right down the drain. And to know when I'm done changing water, I just use a simple dipstick type system. Tells when I have. That's how I know how many gallons of water I've done. Just put it in the sump and watch and turn the valve back off. Flip the valve on those tanks and they just automatically drain right back into the system. Right down here. Nothing fancy. It's nice having a basement sump because if anything floods, I just have a cement floor and a drain right in the middle. Use Tropic Marion salt. Here is my water purification system, reverse osmosis, deionizer, dual membrane. Use this for feeding water into my refrigerator, so we have purified water at the tap. Might as well, if you're spending all that money. And then I got a booster pump, so I can make about 90 gallons of water, about 12 hours. Other equipment we have is the equipment station, just where I keep all my chemicals, such as calcium chloride. That's for raising calcium, baking soda for alkalinity, magnesium chloride for magnesium from a driveway salt company. All of them are. For carbon, I use this giant bag here I picked up online for like 80 bucks from a water purification plant. 50 pounds of carbon. I haven't used it in 2.5 years. I still got plenty. Used to culture rotifers and phytoplankton in here. Both those cultures crashed, and I don't really feel that they contribute much to the reef anyways anymore, other than nutrients. So that's how I keep my system nutrient free. We can flip the skimmer back on. I also have a auto top off unit, nothing fancy a design. Some little aqua lifters that come from the pump there. You won't be able to see it, but I have a auto top off back here. 2 of them on little floaties. So if both those floats raise up, it flips a switch and a relay. Turns those pumps on, fills the water up. And then we can turn the calcium or the skimmer back on by flipping the switch there. I don't have mufflers on mine, so it's quite loud. That about covers my sump system.